What's good? We back with the Boxing Clinic. More y'all know what it is. We back on that boxing movement, on the grind as usual. Still early in the morning grind, almost noon. There's an article on Boxing. I'm gonna link in the description as usual. Always link to sources so y'all know that it's true, unless it's a rumor. And then when it becomes authentic and real, then I'll go ahead and shoot them out there in another video. But Errol Spence says that Haymon wants him to face Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, and Shawn Porter. But at the end of the day, he's their manager too, so he looks out for their best interests. Now, I think last year or a few months ago, whatever it was, we talked about that. You know, how Haymon won't force Danny Garcia, Shawn Porter, Keith Thurman to fight Errol Spence because he's a manager and advisor. He wants what's best for each individual career, and now we're seeing it become a conflict of interest, if that's the right little phrase, in the Premier Boxing Champions umbrella. You know, because what's best for Premier Boxing Champions is Errol Spence fighting all three of them. You know, that's what's best because it's going to bring the best the ratings, the biggest numbers. It may produce one of the biggest stars in boxing. But Haymon is an advisor / manager. A manager gives you the best opportunity for your career to succeed, just as a promoter may have that interest. There's difference between the intent of a promoter and a manager / advisor. As a manager and advisor want your best interest, you know, regardless. You know, he going to give you 3 names and tell you what you're going to bring home and will be the best route to go. A promoter, okay, he got your best interest. But if you get another big star or a fight that makes sense, that's lucrative for him to pocket some money in, then he going to cash that ass right on out. Your best interest is not there no more. It's in the best interest of the promotional company. So for Earl, it got to be frustration. You know, it really is. You know, for the same simple fact that Keith Thurman look like he might fight one time this year. So he really living up to one time. Because when he fight one time this year, you know, that's once he fought once in the last 3 years. Each year he fought once. So he fought multiple times in 3 years. If this year passes by, he only fight once. So that's something to look at. And, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, Haymon can't force him to fight him because he's a manager, not a promoter. Even a promoter can't force a fighter to fight. You know what I'm saying? He can put you on the shelf and kind of push you in a direction of shelf you, then, you know, starve you, then make you take that fight. But the manager is always going to give you, multiple opportunities. Like Danny Garcia fought Lucas Matisse. Angel got up there and said, they gave us 3 names. He could have been gone, but we chose to fight him. You know? And at the end of the day, same thing with Errol Spence. You know? I know it's frustration, and you know what I'm saying? He's just going to keep banking up the money. They're going to keep overpaying them for them guys not to fight him. At one point, they're going to have to grow a pair of balls. I remember we did a video talking about Danny Garcia interview he did with Eli Sackback or Fight Hype, one of the two. Shout out to both of them. Where he says that he want to let these Errol Spence and these fights with Errol Spence and Shawn Porter marinate just like Pacquiao and Mayweather, where they got bigger money down the road. Newsflash: Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia, and Keith Thurman. That money ain't coming like that. In the growth, just we talking about percentages. You know, we're saying that, you know, it was a $50 million fight. We talking about purses between Pacquiao and Mayweather, whatever. Guesstimated about a $50 million fight or whatever. Then it jumped to a $150, $200, $300 million fight. Those percentages, I'm not even saying from 20 to $3 million to $300 million, $200 million to $50 million to $300 million fight, excuse me, a little bit tired. I'm saying the percentages. Even if it's a even if it's a $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 million purse, that fight is right now. That fight ain't gonna jump to be no $30, $40 million purse fight for split down the middle for both of them. You have to fight guys to get that notoriety and get that popularity. You gotta have high-level fights. And Danny Garcia had some good level, high-level fights, but, you know, the Matisse fight didn't do what he thought it was going to do for him and thought what a lot of people thought it was going to do for him. Jump his popularity. It didn't do that. So you got to keep fighting a tough competition. You know, the Rod Salkas and all the bullshit fights, cut that shit out. They need to be fighting each other. Waiting on Keith Thurman, Kenny Porter full of shit. Fuck that. Excuse my French. They need to be fighting Earl and Danny, Keith, all of them need to be fighting straight down the line. That's the only how your bank gonna jump from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 million. That's the only way it's gonna jump up. Not by fighting the bums once or twice a year. If you're gonna fight twice a year, fight potent competition, fight high level fights. You know what I'm saying? And this is where, you know, you get a little bit frustrated with Haymon, the Cleveland, Ohio native, aka the Harvard boy. This is where you get frustrated with him at. At one point in time, you got to be like, look here, man, fuck the bullshit. PBC is my shit. I got the investors in here. Danny, y'all going to have to fight this guy. Who gonna draw straws and see who fight this motherfucker first? Because at the end of the day, if y'all acting scary and shit of that nature, why do I need to manage you guys? When I can just get with the high hand with Errol Spence, and I can just set him up to whoop y'all ass. Period. You know? Real shit. Keith Thurman too. He ain't in no fight day in sight. Sound fishy to me. And people want to see Earl and Keith. Can't even get a build up because Keith ain't nowhere to be found. Shawn and Danny playing with each other. You know, playing tag and freeze and it. You know, nobody got time for that, man. Nobody got time for the bullshit. These guys legitimately need to be fighting each other right now. And Al Haymon, understand here, man, you can't force it, but you can push it. Like, look here, man. Who gonna fight him first? Forget Keith Thurman. I'll give y'all a little bit of incentive and bonus to go ahead and fight this guy. Come on, we got a big fight planned up. We're gonna promote it, market it. Kenny, if you say I'm protecting him, let's do it. Because Kenny Porter said Al and the people protecting Errol Spence. Tell me how much money y'all need to fight Errol Spence. We'll see if we can get him close to that number. You can fight that man. Same thing for Danny Garcia. It's that buddy-buddy relationship, man. It's like you being a supervisor at your job, but you friends with everybody that's under your umbrella. So you try to be in their best interest. After a while, you know, one employee gonna have another issue with another employee. Then you gotta be a businessman, or you gotta make a business decision. You can't always keep everybody happy, especially when you got 70, 100, 80 thousands of clients like Al Haymon got. It's time for him to learn the cold hard facts about boxing. Casualties is a norm for each promotional company. At one point, two promoters, you know, a promoter promote a big fight, two big fighters, and they end up around the same weight class, and it makes business sense. You got to do it. They make money. You got to do it. Bob Arum hasn't always followed that with Wama and Gamboa and all the other fights he done fucked up over the years. But Al Haymon got to realize that he got to push these guys towards that. Eventually, if you're the WC champion, you're going to have to come see Errol Spence anyway, unless you're going to move up. But like Earl said, he can't make him fight. He can't make him put him up. He can't make him do that. And at the end of the day, you know, that's the biggest problem with boxing. These guys ain't real. They're talking about how they had hard come-ups in Akron and in Philly. Man, I couldn't see Marvin Hagler doing no shit like this. I couldn't see the great Joe Frazier doing no shit like. I can't see the great Aaron Pryor from Ohio doing no shit like this. Where they at? Let's run it right now. Run them hands. But it is what it is. TBC and more. We gone.